how you can read these scopes and how that's beneficial. So if you've already analyzed your footage, you kind of know what the problem areas are, but these scopes give you an accurate representation to affirm your initial assessment. So if we're looking at this one right here, there's no color value, it's just black and white. So when we're looking at this, we can see, and do you see how this is going to actually correspond from left to right in your image? Okay, so these little bars right here and here, those are actually corresponding exactly. So if I were to lay this on top of this image, those would be exactly the same. So that's how you're reading this. You're reading it from left to right, from left to right. So if we're looking at this, and this is a scale of 120 to -20, in that little notes I have that black would be 0, and then white would be around 100. And if you're looking at this little bar right here, and you're looking at this compared to this, you can tell that it's a little bit dull because there's no true whites and there's no true blacks. But just looking at it visually, you can see that it's a muddy image, and that's reflected in this scale. And so you can see right here that the lightest part, if we are going back and forth between this and this, you can see that the lightest part of this image is right up here, which is right where her apron is. And that checks out, okay? And so then the darkest parts of the image are down here, okay? And here, and here, and here, okay? So what we'll have to do based off of this is we're going to have to bring the blacks down and the whites up so that they more closely get into that scale of 100 to 0. Not everything is going to be exact, and you'll find that, but you just want to have it more balanced. Okay, next is RGB, and this is exactly what this is, but it's breaking it down into the RGB values. So if we're looking again, we can see that it's a little on the blue side. It's a little cool. This entire footage looks a little cool, and that's reflected by the RGB. So if we're looking at the red, green, and blue, do you see how the blue value spikes a little bit? This is the exact same portion of this image, just mirrored, but then we can tell that right here there's a little bit too much blue. So we're going to have to take the blue down. All right, so then now we're going to look at this scope right here, and this is showing the overall saturation of the image, and you can see that everything is kind of right around here. That's like represented by the flesh tones. Generally speaking, you want to have this follow this line right up here and boost the saturation to give her a little bit more color, vitality in her skin. And so it doesn't matter which race the person is. You want to hover on this line and push it more to the saturation. So here it's just showing that it's a little desaturated, which checks out as well.